Welcome back to WION World is One. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Hem Kaursar and here's what we've lined up for you on Speed News today. Former US President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama struck a message of hope and unity on day 2 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Hailing Kamala Harris as the best person to lead the United States, the Obamas also took shots at Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump and his divisive politics amid loud cheers. The former President Barack Obama told Democrats that the United States is ready for Kamala Harris to be president. Paying tribute to President Joe Biden, Obama said that his decision to ask Joe Biden to serve as his vice president in 2008 turned out to be one of his best. Wrapping up his 9th West Asia visit since the Gaza war began, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that there was no time to waste in securing a ceasefire deal. The top U.S. diplomat also said that Washington does not support any long-term occupation of Gaza by Israel. Speaking to the media in Doha before flying back to Washington, Blinken warned that time is of the essence for a truce deal. Blinken reiterated that Israel has accepted a proposal by the United States to bridge the gaps between the two sides for a deal and urged Hamas to follow suit. Russian President Vladimir Putin made an unscheduled visit to Chechnya in his first visit in nearly 13 years. Putin was greeted by Chechnya's self-styled strongman leader Ramzan Kadyrov. He then went on to visit a special forces academy bearing his own name and spoke with volunteer fighters who trained there prior to being deployed in Ukraine. Putin later held talks with Kadyrov at the Chechen leader's residence in Grozny. The search for survivors from sunken luxury yacht of Sicily's coast continued overnight following an intense storm that sank the vessel on Monday. Divers continued the search efforts, hoping to find 6 missing people, including British tech entrepreneur Mike Lynch and his daughter. The British-flagged yacht was carrying 22 people, anchored off the port of Porticello when it was hit by a fierce storm. 15 people managed to escape the yacht before it capsized. Those unaccounted for are Lynch and his 18-year-old daughter Hannah, Judy and Jonathan Bloomer, a non-executive chair of Morgan Stanley International, and Clifford Chance lawyer Chris Morvillo and his wife Nida. Afghanistan's Taliban morality government, known for morally policing women, has now started to do the same with men. The ministry has dismissed more than 280 members of security force for failing to grow a beard and have also detained more than 13,000 others in Afghanistan for immoral acts in the past year. However, the Ministry for Prevention of Vice and Propagation of Virtue said that during its annual operations update, around half of the detainees were set free after 24 hours, and no information regarding the alleged offences or gender of the detainees were revealed, citing data of the past year. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has embarked for his visit to Poland, marking a first by an Indian Prime Minister in over 40 years. This year marks 70 years of diplomatic relations between the two countries. During Prime Minister Modi's visit, talks will focus on defence, trade and cultural relations. Notably, Poland is the 6th largest economy in the European Union and is India's largest trading partner and investment partner in Central and Eastern Europe. Bilateral trade between India and Poland was around $5.7 billion in 2023 to 24. Following his Warsaw visit, Prime Minister Modi is set to embark for Ukraine's capital Kyiv on the 23rd of August by train. In the rape and murder case of trainee doctor in India's Kolkata, an autopsy report has revealed that manual strangulation associated with smothering was the cause of the doctor's death. It also found that the manner of death is homicidal. The reports of the autopsy conducted on the victim also mentioned that the doctor had 16 external and 9 internal injury marks. Out of the 16 external injuries, there were abrasions on her cheeks, lips, nose, neck, arms and knees. There were injuries on her private parts as well. An assistant sub-inspector of Kolkata police, who is believed to be a close associate of the accused arrested in the rape and murder incident, appeared before the CBI for questioning, while the Kolkata police has suspended 2 assistant police commissioners and a police inspector in connection with vandalism at the medical college. Meanwhile, the medics have decided against calling off their indefinite strike. The doctors of RG stated that they will continue their strike until the Supreme Court pronounces its verdict on Thursday. The doctors are also holding a protest march today from RG. Tech professionals in Kolkata have also joined the medics in protest. A federal judge in Texas on Tuesday barred a U.S. Federal Trade Commission rule from taking effect. The ban agreements are commonly signed by workers not to join their employees' rivals or launch competing businesses. About 30 million people, or 20% of the U.S. workers, have signed non-competes. According to the FTC, the Commission often adopts rules that target specific industries, such as requiring telemarketers to maintain certain disclosures or mandating that gas stations display full ratings. But it is unusual for the agency to enact bans on more widespread business practices. Walmart is seeking to raise up to $3.74 billion by selling its stake in Chinese e-commerce firm JD.com. According to a term sheet seen by Reuters, the report suggests that the U.S. retailer will focus on its own operations in China. Walmart is offering 144.5 million American shares in price range of $24.85 to $25.85, and Morgan Stanley is the broker-dealer of the offering. Remember, major e-commerce firms including JD.com and rivals like Alibaba and PDD Holdings have engaged in a brutal price war in order to entice consumers to buy, pressuring revenue growth and margins. Sam Altman-led OpenAI announced a multi-year partnership with Condé Nast to display content from its brands such as The Vogue and a New Yorker within the AI startups products, and that includes ChatGPT and SearchGPT prototype. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, but OpenAI has signed similar deals with the Time magazine. Financial Times, Business Insider, OA owner Axel Springer, Francis Le Monde, and Spain's Prisa Media over the past few months. While these content partnerships are essential for training AI models, some media organizations such as the New York Times and The Intercept had sued the Microsoft-backed firm over copyright issues associated with their works. The China Association of Automobile Manufacturers said it firmly opposes a revised draft from the European Union on punitive tariffs for Chinese-made electric vehicles. The decision on the tariffs brings enormous risk and uncertainty for China's operations and investment in the EU. According to the report, this is in relationship to the European Commission's draft findings of its high-profile investigation into alleged subsidies for imports of Chinese-made electric vehicles. The fishermen in Brazil's Rio de Janeiro are using a dedicated smartphone application to curb the instances of pollution in the country's iconic Guanabara Bay. The region, popular for tourism and fishing industry, had been badly affected by spills of oil, chemicals and untreated wastewater. The app has been developed by an NGO that allows fishermen to upload videos and pictures of environmental crimes to a website. The information is verified and sent to authorities such as the country's environmental regulator or Brazil's Navy. A natural port of about 400 square kilometers, it battles pollution from runoff city water, vessels visiting the area and from oil rig accidents. The villagers in central Bolivia on Monday rescued a pink dolphin on the banks of a river. The rare animal was spotted by villagers from Santa Fe. Later, the dolphin was moved to river's deeper waters with the help of authorities, where it was released. Not much is known about the pink river dolphins, also known as bufeos in Bolivia, including their population and habitats. The species faces threats from climate change, deforestation, water pollution, and agricultural expansion. As US appeals court has ruled that Google must face a renewed lawsuit from Chrome users who claim the company collected their personal data without consent after they opted not to sync their browsers with their Google accounts. The Court of Appeals in San Francisco has criticized the lower court's dismissal of the case, arguing that it should have considered whether typical Chrome users knowingly agreed to Google collecting their data while browsing. This ruling comes after Google agreed last year to delete millions of records as part of a settlement in a lawsuit accusing the company of tracking users. US intelligence officials have said Iran was responsible for launching cyber operations against US presidential candidates Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. The statement confirms the charges made earlier by Donald Trump. Trump had accused Iran of hacking one of its presidential campaign websites. The US has accused Iran of conducting influence operations targeting the American public in a bid to fan political divisions. A group of authors have launched a legal battle against AI startup Anthropic and have accused the company of training its popular chatbot Claude on pirated copies of copyrighted books. Allegedly, Claude uses a data set called the Pile, which is often accused of housing a huge collection of illegally obtained copies of books. The lawsuit filed in a San Francisco federal court marks the first time writers have targeted Anthropic amid a growing wave of legal challenges against AI developers. According to a report by Deloitte India in collaboration with NASSCOM, AI talent demand in India is projected to grow from 650,000 to more than 1.25 million by 2027. It is estimated that by 2027, the AI market in India will see a 25 to 35% growth rate. Meanwhile, around 60% of Indian employees and 71% of Gen Z believe acquiring AI skills can enhance their career prospects. Furthermore, 2 of 3 Indians plan to learn at least one digital skill, with AI and machine learning topping the list. In 2023, around 43% of the Indian workforce across sectors used AI in their organizations. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.